Please, all of you which are in a sales position, please stand up. All of you which are in a sales position, please stand up. Only sales position, okay? Why are you raising, Stelly? Sit down. Very good. Okay. Look around the room. Please look around the room. Okay. Sit down. Okay. Now, all of you which are CEOs or owner of a company or entrepreneur, please stand up. Very good. So those of you who just stood up, guys, you fired. Change your job. If you don't want to sell, change position. Hire somebody that becomes CEO and you do tech, you do whatever you want. Okay? There is a brutal truth. We are all in sales. There's nothing else we can do. We sell all the time, every time, anytime. Okay? So who knows who's the original picture of this is? It's Tony Stark in Iron Man 1 when he's selling the Jericho. Right? So this is the picture that my employees, they sent me for my birthday. Right? So they took the picture of Tony Stark, they put banknotes around, and they put all the flags of all the country where we operate. You know what that tells me one thing, that through me, my employees, they see financial success. They believe I'm a money-making machine. So if I make money, they make money. If they make money, they achieve financial certainty, financial success. Right? Why? Because as a CEO, I sell to my employees. I sell to partners. I'll sell to clients. Actually, I don't even talk to clients anymore. I hire a spectacular sales team. Most of my time as a CEO is sales internally, hiring talent, stealing talent, firing talent, all the time. With lender, with investors, etc., etc. So as a CEO of owner of a company, you sell at every level, not only to customers. Now, here is me when I was selling advertisement across the world in Africa and Southeast Asia. That's actually how it brought me to Southeast Asia first. So we were selling very big advertisement contract to the biggest corporations in most of the emerging countries around the world. And this is us now in FlySpaces. I run after Rocket. I run like an Airbnb for office space. But look at here, right? When we fundraised $500,000, there was again a sales process, right? There's absolutely no difference. When you fundraise to investors, there is absolutely no difference. It's exactly the sales process. There are just more trust component attached to it and legality components attached to it. But again, most of my things about with my team. That's some of our pictures. Okay, so who of you saw this movie? That's an easy one. Okay, good. So of course, in the movie, it's very colorful, but this is really important to understand what always be closing means, okay? A sales, so money in the bank, are a results of a lot of things happening behind. And the things happening behind are a series of closure. Getting the cold email responded is a closure. Getting the phone call is a closure. Getting the first meeting is a closure. Moving up to contract negotiation, it's not a closure. That's what always be closing actually means. So the sales process has, depending on the industries, various steps or fewer steps, okay? You need to make sure that you close all the time. Every email, it's a call to action. Every phone is knowing the next steps. So make sure you always be closing in every sales process of the step. There is one thing. How many times your salespeople says, "Oh, boss, this deal is 90% close"? Huh? Sounds familiar? Bullshit. It's not 90% close deal. It's either money in the bank or zero. There is nothing in between. Nothing in between. And what I always say to my guys is sales is not about pitching. It's about closing. Emitting noise doesn't bring money in the bank. It's actually signing contract and money in the bank. That's what matters. Okay? So no 90% close deal, no pitch to pitch, pitch to close. This is actually how I hand over my personal business cards, especially in Europe, right? Why? Because I actually hand it over with the title, the slogan that tells what I do. I build companies in Asia, right? I actually hand it over, not with my name. Nobody gives a fuck about my name. People care about who I am and what I do, right? So I hand over my business card by saying, I build companies in Asia. You should see the reaction of people. Okay. Oh, interesting. What do you do again? Right? So if I have somebody that has a business in Asia, or if I have somebody who is interested to have a business in Asia, or some connection to Asia, I have a closure. I have his interest right there. I can guarantee you he saw few business cards like mine. The first things we have to do is understanding that sales is not, there is always bad misconception on sales. Oh, this guy is just a salesman. That's the worst things you can do. That's the worst approach you can have in your organization. You gotta sell with pride. Sales is the fuel of any organizations. You can have great product, great marketing around, but if you don't have sales, guess what? Your company does not deserve to exist. Even no-profit organizations need to sell because they need to fundraise in order to do their services, right? So guess what? It's another sales process. You need to get rid of those misconceptions of money. Now, in the 3 regions where we operate, so United States, Europe, and Asia, there are very different ways to look at the money. In America, people talk about the money straight up front, no problem. Europe, depending, no, not much. In Asia, it's a complete taboo. Right? When people ask, so how much money do you want? How much this product does it cost? They're like, like I don't really want to tell you, so we're going to talk about it. Football, right? So money is a fundamental component of the equation. So never take money out of the equation. And remember, the sales is also a form of persuasion. If you apply your sales skills, your sales technique to hiring talent, you will need to persuade, especially the young talent. Those guys fresh out of school, they don't know if they want to open a restaurant or work in a startup, okay? So it's your job to kind of persuade them to put them in the right path if you want them to be. So use your sales skills, your marketing skills to persuade also talent and to retain them. Of course, after sales, after close sales, satisfaction comes up, right? So our office looks like Wolf of Wall Street without a midget, okay? In Manila, it literally looks like Wolf of Wall Street. Every time we close the sales, people screaming. We are obsessed with our competitor. Okay? We truly enjoy understanding the competitor, analyzing the competitor, and we are very combative against them. Okay, that's a little bit the spirit that we're building in our organization. I was talking before to some of you, and I'm impressed by people building remote companies. I have no clue how to do it. The best part of my day is showing up at the office at 9 a.m. and see my team hard working out there and helping solving problems and using my skills to transfer my skills to them so they can do this to our customers. But obviously, there are 2 things you need to remember. First of all, is ethics, okay? Like Stevie was saying, do not make a quick buck. Making a quick buck today does not help you building a profitable business, okay? Does not make you building a sustainable company. You can sell to somebody something today because you use very hardcore sales skills, but this guy will never buy again from you, okay? So sales with ethics, and of course, the first sales sounds cliche, but it's with yourself. You need to love your product. You need to love your company. You need to be able to die for your company. Who of you saw the 6 Rule of Persuasion video? Good? Good? Okay, good. So it's actually, this is not my material. You can YouTube it. I'm just gonna make it very fast for this. So the first rule is reciprocity. It's my favorite. Is I give you a favor, you owe me one. Now, entire conglomerates, entire huge organizations in Asia are based on reciprocity, right? They're a whole way of, exchanging favors and I give you a lead, you give me a lead, okay? It's not typical referral. Referral program is you give me a lead, I give you a discount. You give me a lead, I give you a discount. That's not what I mean. Reciprocity is more on a personal relationship level. It's at a company to company level. It's company to customer level. The second rule of persuasion is scarcity. When products are perceived as scarce, automatically gain value. So if you go, real estate use this trick very well. When you go and there is a residential building being built, they not even complete the construction and they put a huge sign outside, last units available. Right? Sounds familiar? Well, they probably are not the last unit available, right? So they claim scarcity, so automatically people will rush, okay, to buy. That's the same example, like I give you 20% discount if you sign up for the next 10 days. Right? So that's the concept of scarcity. Authority. This is something that I'm gaining right now, right? So I am considered a sales expert. Why? Because I write white papers about it, because I have videos about it, etc. So you need to become an authority in whatever you do. If you want to build a kitchen, you need to become an authority in cuisine or whatever you do. So there is a lot of material, a lot of content you need to create over time to gain this authority. Consistency. is asking little commitment along the way. You sell a car, you want somebody wants to buy a car. What's your budget? $30,000. Great, $30,000. So we take out all the cars that are out of this budget. What color do you want? Red, fantastic. So we have a red car. And then when it's time to say, so you want a yes or no, the guy cannot go back and says, do you have a pink? Like, well, no, 1 second, you told me red. So I give you red, okay? It's very difficult for people to track back. Okay? People tend to be consistent with what they say. Like, it's very common. People do business with people that they like, right? That's the same everywhere in the world. And lastly is consensus. Specifically in big organizations, when you sell at the enterprise level, there is not necessarily one person that makes the decision, okay? It's a multiple people making a decision, and there is a consensus building process, okay? So you need to invest time with a lot of people, even although they are not at the C level. You need to invest time with a lot of people in order for them to like you, to persuade you, etc., etc. Okay, so make sure you apply this 6 rule of persuasion. That's not relevant. Okay, so most of us, I would say all of us in this room, they belong to the emerging products. But let's walk this for a minute. Innovative products are products which are very, very unique in the market. Maybe they're unique in your market, existing somewhere else, but very unique in your market, okay? They have challenges, right? The challenge is that you need to find the early adapters, okay? These are very tough products to sell, but once you have the early adapter, then you move to the emerging products. So emerging products are products which are already, how do you say them? It's an established business model. People, they know what they do. It's just a matter, of creating a pipeline or potential client, etc. And when you build a client's pipeline, you need to have analogs. I mean, our product and service is already used by XYZ company. Why? Because most of the company, they don't want to be the first. Oh, do you want to be the first one to try the cybersecurity software? No. Not the first one to try. I want to make sure that the best hacker in the world, they try to penetrate that system and your system works. Right? So identify if your product has an early adapter issues or not. The third one is common products, okay? Retail. Even luxury. There is a lot of luxury brands that are basically at the same price level, in the same locations of town, etc. That you develop your own taste. But the common products are specifically retail. They have a lot of competition. It's a huge pipeline of customers. It's a huge follow-up. It's a buyer's market. They try to squeeze you in every sense. And lastly is the worst place to be, commoditized product, like telecoms. Every telecoms around the world is having his revenue cannibalized by Viber, WhatsApp, Facebook. They need to put billions of dollars of infrastructure so we can upload free video. They cannot make a cent out of them, but they need to put billions of dollars of infrastructure across the country to improve the system. So these are the four products. Again, I believe most of us, they stick in innovation product. Now, this is the most important slide of my whole talk. You can forget about what I said. If you apply these rules today, I can personally guarantee you, you will be a better salesman. I can personally guarantee you, you will increase your sales. Let's break this down. So the very first problem that the salespeople do, is that they don't prepare well enough. I don't count the time. The people sat down with me and they look at FlySpaces. Oh, okay, well, we are a real estate company. We want to have you renting some office space. Get the fuck out of my office. Literally, I said that. You haven't even spent a minute to watch my website. Get out of my office. Okay? These people, they don't deserve my audience. So before a sales meeting, you thoroughly prepare about the company. You prepare about the company, their organizations, where are they present, what challenge do they need, the law frame, anything. You need to understand the company inside out. The second level of preparation is the emphatic preparation. You study the person. You're going to pitch to XYZ people or one sole decision maker. You need to be prepared. It's so easy to find information about people today, like one of our speakers before said, stalk them in social media. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Tinder, I don't care. You need to find information on who they are, what they do, what they like, what they don't like. Do they publish press releases? If yes, it's about what, right? Study inside out who the person is. Why? We're gonna get there in a second during the actual meeting. You always understand who the decision maker is, right? If you sell a marketing product, most likely it's related to the marketing department, okay? Just don't try to shoot all over the organization, okay? Do laser focus, especially enterprise and B2B sales. It's all about laser focus when you do sales to an enterprise. Otherwise, you look like somebody just tried to sell anything to anybody. Then you need to be able to prepare the chit chat, right? So imagine you finally sit down with the guy or with the girl, okay? You have the chit chat. It's the 5 minutes about dogs, golf. I don't know why rich people, they need to play golf. I don't know who decide that for them. But, you know, always prepare about having a decent chit chat. Not like sit down, it's like, it's raining today. Get the fuck out of my office also. People that sat down with me and they give me this cheesy quote like, oh my God, it's such traffic. Yeah, guess what? Manila has traffic for 50 years. They're most likely going to have for another 50 years, okay? So it's not a way you can build a relationship with me. It's not a way to build rapport. Quality chit chat. So I saw your article on Fast Company yesterday. No, it was interesting when you pointed out XYZ. It's like, okay, this guy understands my company and actually spend time about me. I appreciate that, okay? It's a huge, huge emotional intelligence component that you can use throughout the sales process. Fine, finally, you meet the guy, you got the chit chat, okay? The fatidic moment when people, the silence say, okay, so, what can I do for you, okay? Exchange business cards, you make love with the business cards, okay? You always ask qualifying questions. So from my research and our previous communications and blah, 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 I understand you're looking for XYZ services or product. Am I right? Yes, great, put it there. So you cannot go back, you cannot go out of there anymore. You always introduce yourself, your company, and your product in that order. Why? People, they're going to buy you. If you have a product, most likely somebody else is pitching to them or has the same product, okay? So people, they will buy you. They will buy your authority. They will buy the presentation that you will have in a minute. They will buy how you prepare you are. They will appreciate you as an individual. They will buy your company because your company is an established company. It has already a pipeline of clients, has already testimonials, okay? It has already track record. And then, yeah, they will buy your product. Your product, again, it's a product that everybody might have, okay? So remember, yourself, the company, and the product in that order. Always translate how your product or service is going to benefit them into dollar and cents. You can translate everything into dollar and cents. If your software optimizes processes, that means they can optimize on payroll. And if they optimize on payroll, they can save money. If your product can increase sales by doing XYZ, that's an increase on sales. But always look at the number aspect of it, especially if you're talking to big organizations where there is the pain in the ass CFO, the only thing they want is saving money. Analogs, closing, and next step. If you have an existing pipeline of clients, brag about it. Fucking brag about it. It's unbelievable the conversion rate, how it goes up when we say we have the customer of the caliber of Procter & Gamble, Unilever using our offices, okay? Even if they use a meeting room for 1 hour, boom, logo of Procter & Gamble on our deck. Oh my God, yeah, Procter & Gamble. Guess what? Unilever is using us, okay? The minute I get Procter & Gamble, my first call is Unilever, right? This is how it works. They will love it. They always do it. Closing. Before you leave the meeting, okay, crystal clear the next steps. Not like, okay, well then I send you an email with a summary and then we'll grab a beer next week, right? No. Okay, good, thanks for the conversation. Okay, so I understand from this meeting that the people involved in the decision-making process are the CFO and the CMO, right? Great. Are they around? If you are in their office, all the C-level guys always sit in the same office. They're next to each other, right? So ask, do you mind are they here? Do you mind dropping them a call? Maybe I can meet them right now. You don't have to pitch them again, okay? But you will be able, if they come to the office, you exchange business card, you shake hands. It's already way better than a cold email because the CEO tell you, yeah, you can contact my CMO to this email. Okay? Always try to break the technological barrier, try to meet them physical. If you're there at the office, just try it. There is no harm in doing. So I give you an example. I was in AirAsia headquarters in Kuala Lumpur. For those of you who don't know who AirAsia is, it's the equivalent of Ryanair. They're not as big, but it's the biggest low-cost airline in Southeast Asia. I was doing my sales talk to the sales rep, for the B2B sales rep, and then at the end of the talk, I met the CMO, whatever it was. And I really wanted to meet the CEO, which is Tony Fernandez, one of the most famous entrepreneurs in Southeast Asia, okay? So to get that, it was impossible to the CMO. The CMO didn't want to call him, right? I was lucky enough that I had the other guys that was more powerful in the organization, which call him, and I managed to meet him, okay? So it also works bottom up, not only top down, okay? Always try to meet as many people if you have the occasion. Lastly, time, dress code, and material. They can also work if you're looking for a job. If you're looking for a job, okay, you are selling yourself to the potential company. Time, you always arrive on time. On time, it's late. 5 minutes late, it's unacceptable. 5 minutes early is the time you arrive. On time, it's late, okay? In our organizations, and again, you know, Manila has some complexities on traffic, I give 15 minutes to potential candidates. If somebody arrives 16 minutes, but there are 16 minutes, I don't even interview them anymore. It's your first potential day in my company, and you are even arrived late. I don't care how good you are if you study in Harvard, it doesn't matter to me. Right? You're not fit for these organizations. Dress code and material. Dress code, you know, if you're selling financial products and you're talking to people from the financial industry, they want to see a jacket, they want to see this stuff, okay? If you sell to startup, okay, arrive dressed down a little bit. If you arrive all in a suit, you look like a guy from the FBI, right? They might think you are expensive by default. Right? And lastly is material. Always have everything with you. I taught to companies in Southeast Asia that sell residential units, okay, which are very tough place to be, to always bring contracts with them when they sell a residential unit. Why? Because when they show residential unit, all the time, 90% of the time, is the husband, the wife, the mistress, whatever is they're going to use the apartment, okay? Husband, wife, and kids. All the decision makers are there. They're all there. If they like it, okay, and they like everything, pull out the contract. Pull out the contract and start filling up, handing over. Maybe they don't sign right there, but I already have a contract, right? Why? Because if you tell them, okay, you know, take a week, let me know, then I'll send you the contract. Oh my God, how many things can happen in the week? No, terrorist attack, the wife breaking up with the guy, you know, so many things can happen. The sales is gone. It's gone. Always try to close as much as possible within the same minute. Okay, so that's what we call the straight line. Imagine when you're here, okay, this is when you sit down with the guy or the girl for the meeting. In these 45 minutes, which are the perfect B2B sales meeting, this is when you to deliver all the things I just spoke about. So here is the chit chat. Okay, here's the chit chat, so we talk about wife and boats and dogs and whatever. Right? Then you start introducing yourself, your company, your product, blah, 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 and then here we have the closure, okay? Never, ever allow the person to go in the black area. In the black area, when the person is leading the meeting, no, you keep control. You will always keep control of the meeting. When things are going a little bit out of the way, you bring him back. Always stay in the straight line, not in the black area, because that is where he is controlling the meeting. Let's talk about the difference between B2B and B2C sales. So in the B2C, you have digital marketing gurus, right? Those guys, they spend your marketing ads, they generate leads, and then they come in the funnel, and then the whole sales process starts. In the B2B, it's lead generation machine. Okay, so when we were selling, even for Rocket, we were selling some B2B products. I was taking the badge. Okay, in Singapore they have like skyscraper of 70 stores, 70 floors. I was getting the badge to go to the 70th floor, so I could walk down. 69, 68, 67, 65. It was a long day. Thank God the building had the food court at some point. Okay, so these are aggressive salespeople. We were knocking door by door. Okay, in the B2C world, you have customer experience. You know, people, they make love with your website. They make love with your product. Right? In our case, in B2B, it's preparation. I make love with you if you are prepared about me, my company, my problems. In the B2C world, it's analytics. Okay? You shoot marketing money, something happens, you study, you analyze, more marketing money. In the B2B, it's listening to clients. It's the best survey you can have in the world. If they're angry at you, fucking listen to them. It's the best marketing research you can get. No Gartner, no McKinsey can tell you what customer wants. The customer tell you what they want. In the B2C space, you have the product. right? What it makes the sales once they have their hands on the product is the actual product, is the website, is the app, is the YOT, whatever it is. In the B2B, is the pitching and closing. It's how you present your company, what you can do for them, and the closing aspect of it. In the B2C space, is customer service as the same in the B2B. There is no difference. Lastly, in the B2C is more digital marketing. What happens once you spend more money, analyze customer, you do the analytics, you spend more money based on what you learn. In the B2B space, in order to have customers stay with you longer, is making an extra mile. I'll give you an example. So I have, in the Philippines, our bank account is through a small bank. Why are we using a small bank? Because I travel most of my time, and I'm the only signatory in my company. We're just small, we're just 20 people. I'm the only signatory in my company, and I travel a lot. But if I need to send a transfer or I need to issue a check, the bank, because the general manager of the bank, the branch manager, over a phone call, when he recognizes my voice, will authorize the check. Then I come back into the Philippines and I sign. Okay? Nobody does that in Asia. Okay? They don't take these sort of risks. Okay? But by her doing this to me, she guaranteed that I will always use the bank, because all the other banks are full of processes and bureaucracies and bullshit I cannot handle because I travel most of my time. Now, so these are the 3 things you should do to improve your sales. So why can't you close? 3 reasons why you can't close. You're not prepared. You are not have the emphatic and empirical preparations. You pitch it to the wrong person, right? The person and your product is not matching for the right person. 3rd is the pitch. You have a wrong pitch. I don't know what that can be. Test more presentation, more colors, more whatever you want. But these are the 3 reasons why you can't close. Now, how would you do your next 10 sales? Okay, is by identifying your process. Okay, lead generations. Okay, through referrals, pipeliners is like events, you know, building, like going, touching door by door, etc., and building trust and relationship. Okay, which are fundamental in the B2B business. Tracking. I mean, we use Pipedrive. Now I'm going to give him 2 minutes of his sales cycle to sell me close.io. But, okay, there are various tools out there. But, you know, every lead should be tracked. Okay? And the more data you tag, okay, the more data you tag in the lead, the better it becomes. So we sell office space, okay, but we have hundreds of transactions every month. We tag everything. We tag areas of town where the demand is coming from. We tag the country. We tag the sort of industry, size of the company. So at the end of the month, we gather a tremendous amount of data that then we pass to our marketing team, which says, okay, so last month we received a lot of sales which we lost in that part of town. What that means, we need to acquire more office space in that part of town, right? Very simple, okay? So, generation, tracking, and closing. All of you has his own way to close, okay? But obviously, call, text, email, visit, but the most important things is state of mind. Every time you get into a sales meeting, you walk in to close. There is no question about it, okay? Who is gonna close, you or him? You're going to get out a contract. Him is going to sell you a reason not to buy. Every time you get in with a mindset of closing. Just one trick before I close. What is the most powerful tool people have, especially women? It's a smile. Who flew Panam here? Oh my God, nobody's old enough here. Good. Okay. So Panam, for those of you who don't know, is the airline, the pioneer, what today is called 5-star service, okay? Which we only get in the Middle Eastern Airlines, seems like, okay? The Panam service is like the beautiful lady, beautiful dress, you were flying business class, serving you coffee, and it was like, hello, sir, you want coffee? You fucker, your whole ticket is my all year salary. I hate you, bastard, you know? Coffee, milk, right? So that's a fake smile, super fake smile. Do not trust those people, very easy to identify. Okay? You don't need to be an anthropologist to understand a fake smile. Right? You don't need to do it. Okay? What is very powerful is this. It's the Duchenne smile. True, genuine, passionate smile. How do you have this smile? By loving your product, loving your company, have the right state of mind, arriving prepared, build confidence in whatever your product or whatever your service it is. Okay? Well, guys, it's been a pleasure. I only have 1 question. Are you ready to close? Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Christ.
Try again.
Let me try again. Are you ready to close? Okay, it's my first time in Poland. I'll pass you that, okay? Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. We got a little time for questions. Okay, perfect. Okay, do we have any questions for Mario? Well, people are...
Yes, I'm single, ladies, I'm single.
Okay, and he's on the party tonight, by the way. I will start, I've got a question. One thing that we have at Brand24 sometimes is totally agree with doing the research first before you reach out to anybody. Do you ever have a problem where teams over-research? So I'm trying to make sure that the line stays in line. When one of my team comes in and says, I've done 30 minutes on this client, I know exactly what I need to know, but the deal value wasn't worth 30 minutes research. Is there a sweet spot, or should people not really worry about it?
I guess it depends. So if I'm selling, in our case, when we acquire landlords which have on the at least $50 million asset values, okay? So it's very valuable, right? So,
Sure.
and those guys, they know, or there are 100 guys, they know $50 million, $100 million, $500 million, right? Real estate in Asia, it's heavily concentrated on wealth, okay? So wealth is heavily concentrated on real estate. So the guys have a lot of real estate, they have a lot of money anyway, okay? So in our case, the answer is yes. You need to identify in your company the preparation that is required, okay? Sometimes, for instance, I was living in Africa, and I was selling advertisement to big organizations, like billions of dollars revenue, those guys didn't even have a website, okay? How do you find information? It was also 7 years ago, right? That doesn't sound too long, but Facebook wasn't really right there, LinkedIn was emerging, etc., etc. I mean, sometimes we were just buying journals, newspaper, and reading, like looking for the title, Sonangol is the biggest oil company in Angola. Okay, good, Sonangol. And we were just reading the article. So it really depends what's the value attached for you to every lead, yeah?
Perfect. Anyone else? Oh, we have a question.
Gentlemen.
Come in.
Hi. So yeah, one thing to add, you can be also over-prepared. It happens to me once.
It's a nice problem to have.
Yeah, actually I had too much information about the company, and the lady that I talked with, she was like, yeah, we have a fund in our company, I didn't know. She was like, but it happens from time to time, so I think it's about the feeling of the person that you're speaking to. But my question is, because yeah, basically I'm in the B2B sales into, let's say, Fortune 500 companies, and a lot of times you're talking to someone who needs to pitch it to someone above him who has budgets or something like that. So one thing to ask the CEO and the CMO or whatever make a decision is working, but from time to time you need to prepare someone actually to pitch your thing to the sponsor of the product. So my question is, how do you know, like, this kind of things you can do to prepare this person better?
I sell to Fortune 500, so I have exactly the same problem. So one thing I always try, it's to dare, okay? Jennifer, you know, when are you meeting your boss, like the CFO? Like next week. Do you mind if I join the meeting? Okay, always try. It's amazing things will happen, okay? 50% of the time I get yes. That means the other 50 I get no, okay? But you know, always try to dare, okay? That's a closure. Like I said before, it's a closure in the process, okay? It's very difficult to, if you have maybe a little bit complex product, to train a marketing manager that she can be smart or he can be smart, of course, not a problem. But it's your product. Nobody can sell better than you, right? So if you can't get the meeting, okay, what you have to do is providing her with very simple material to digest. Right? Not if it's a complex product, not 30 pages, because they will never read it. Okay, forget it. Okay, like 3 slide graphic videos. Okay, that can allow you. Your objective of that is to get the meeting. It's not necessarily to sell the product, okay? Because the CEO gets pitched by any sort of shit, from toilet paper to whatever every day, is gonna, okay, so you handle this, but I handle that. You handle this, but I handle that, okay? So if you really want to sell to the CEO, you need to provide enough materials to them so they can intrigue him to get to meet you, right? So how it happens to me, I mean, our investors are the top 10 biggest family in the Philippines on $1 billion of asset. I use a lot of personal connections to get to them. But once you get to them, you really need to sound like an expert. Like these guys, they're billionaires, fucking billionaires, right? They're afraid about disruption in real estate. So I leverage on their fear. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So the internal games are very difficult to control. Very difficult to control. But another way to do it is start, pinching here and here. So you talk to the marketing manager, whatever, you're not going anywhere. If you don't do anything, what happened? You lost the sales. So worst case, attack from left and right. Worst case, they tell you, fuck you. Well, then I get 3 fuck you instead of 1. That's it, right? But sometimes you will see the other people will buy your idea and they will start to lobby on their own way. Correct.
Anyone else? I've got one question to finish. I want to get the most of you on the stage. We all watch like Wolf of Wall Street movies, and we all want to have a tough, hardcore office environment, salespeople kicking ass every day. How much work and time do you put into the environment and the motivation of your team? Because it's great to get teams running at 110%. It's really hard to keep them at 110%. Have you got any, what does your working environment look like? Is it all compensation plans? Are there also very non-financial benefits? How do you keep your team running hard?
It's a great question. So I can say this what works in Southeast Asia, okay? So I don't know. I left Europe when I was too young to be an entrepreneur, okay? I guess there's no age to be an entrepreneur, but I wasn't ready. In Southeast Asia, especially the young kids, not China. China is a different world. Chinese, they are hardcore-oriented money people. They don't care about anything else but the money and their own success. Fine, okay. In Southeast Asia, because of the concept of harmoniosity among people, money is not necessarily the biggest drive. It's actually office environment. So I managed to bring very talented kids that they were paid, I wouldn't say way more than what I paid them, okay, but more than what they were getting, just because their friends were working with us, and they said, just enjoy going to the office. Because Asian, they approach, they were like, oh, I need to work. They're very hard-working people, okay? I need to work, right? But if I had the hard-working component to a pleasant environment, that was the biggest single drive that allowed us to keep talent. For instance, the son of the CEO of the biggest telecom, and that telecom owns 10% of Rocket Internet Germany, so 10% of the conglomerate. So he could place his son in all the possible company. He called me up and says, Mario, I want your son to work for you because I believe you're a great entrepreneur, so okay. But I also know that if my son makes a mistake, you're gonna give him shit. If my son goes and works in any of our companies, nobody will give him shit because everybody knows who he is, right? So I guess the work environment, and I'm going back to talking to Christine from Trello, I will never be able to build a remote company. I have no idea. I salute you guys that have a remote company. We put a lot of emphasis and energy and lunches and drinks, etc. into the company.
Okay, can we give Mario a round of applause? I thought that was fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And how do people find you? How do people ask you questions? Yeah,
so Mario at FlySpaces.com, okay, or Mario Berta, B-E-R-T-A on LinkedIn. Okay, so please, if you have questions, if you send me an email, I'll share to the slide. No problem. Okay? Thank you, guys.
Thanks once again. Perfect.